Ladies and gentlemen, so excited to be on location for this episode. You know, you have those episodes where you're like, you gotta pinch yourself before you go and do it. And this has been in the works probably, I would say, about 6 months to a year. You know, starting with conversations and asking, like, can this really happen? And we're finally here to make it happen. And we're in location at the National Aquarium. And guess what? The next voice you'll hear will be somebody that represents the National Aquarium. We'll be right back after these messages. No Picks After Dark is sponsored by Snug Books, an independent bookstore serving Northeast Baltimore and beyond. In addition to featuring new books for all ages, the store also carries cards, stationery, gifts, games, and more. Visit snugbooks.com to shop online, learn more about the store, read our latest newsletter, and find a calendar of events, or come browse the store in person. Snug Books is located at 4717 Harford Road, next to Zeke's Coffee in Hamilton, Laurelville. There is free parking behind the store, and open hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
The No Picks After Dark podcast is fueled by Zeke's Coffee. Have you tried their coffee yet? I'm telling you, there's something different about it. Maybe it's because they roast their beans in a fluid coffee roaster, which provides the most accurate roasting temperatures and made with love. You will just have to check it out for yourself and try their delicious food while you're at it. Open now for curbside service, online ordering, carry out, and they also do wholesale. Visit Zeke's Coffee at 4719 Harford Road. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 8 to 5 p.m. Kitchen closes at 3 p.m. or visit Zeke'sCoffee.com and you too can be fueled by Zeke's.
Welcome to the No Picks After Dark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. Today we have an amazing show for you. We are on location at the National Aquarium. The National Aquarium. I feel like a little kid in the candy store right now. I'm so excited. And we have an amazing guest. Amazing guest here today. Miss Laura Bankey, how are you doing today?
I am super well, Aaron. Thanks for asking.
I'm so happy we're here to finally make it happen.
I'm glad we're able to tell our story here at the National Aquarium. As you're giving that introduction, I had to pinch myself because I'm like, I forget, working here for 20 years, how amazing it is every single day. And I appreciate you reminding me.
So we have to give you your flowers. Please tell everybody your title.
Sure. So I'm the Vice President of Conservation Programs at the National Aquarium.
So somebody's going to ask, what is that? What does that mean?
So for me, it does mean that I lead the overall strategic direction of conservation here at the National Aquarium, but I also oversee specific teams, particularly our field conservation team and our community conservation team, the ones that enjoy kind of going out with our guests and volunteers to do something good for this planet, like restoring wetlands or restoring a forest or doing a cleanup event in a neighborhood park. That's my team, but because of my title, I am kind of really in charge of the larger conservation initiative here at the National Aquarium, which is much, much broader. As you can imagine, we take care of thousands of animals. We care for those thousands of animals, but we also want that care to translate into the natural environment. So we do a lot of research. We do a lot of kind of understanding the needs of animals, and we help researchers out in the environment kind of understand the animals a little bit better. We have our rescue program, which everybody knows about, and it's really a pretty fantastic thing to be able to take an animal in need and be able to return him back into the natural environment. Our education programs, it's really what we're known for, and we are trying to inspire the world's future conservationists. So the large kind of picture of conservation is really kind of under my purview.
I'm so excited because you gave me a personal tour, and I felt like I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm in the aquarium. I'm walking around, and you're explaining so much to me, and I was like taken back. I sat at home that night, and I looked at my two kids, and I was like, we have Disney World right here. I don't have to go to San Diego Zoo. I don't have to go to San Diego Aquarium. I don't have to go anywhere. I have it right here in Baltimore. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're really going to talk about the National Aquarium. It's a beautiful thing we have here, and we want to just highlight what's going on. But before we go there, we got to learn a little bit about you. I always ask every guest about this. So let's
Absolutely.
get a little bit about you. Are you originally from Baltimore? Give us a little background.
Sure. I was actually born in Baltimore City, just right down the street there, but I grew up in Pasadena, Maryland, which is probably 7 miles behind you on the river. So basically grew up just outside of the city, was here until I graduated from high school.
Nice, nice. So then, when you graduated from high school, where did you go?
I went to my undergraduate school in Dallas, Texas, at the University of Dallas, and then I went to get a master's in the Virginia Institute of Marine Sciences, which is part of the College of William and Mary in Virginia.
Okay. So when you did that, did you do that in mind of coming back to Baltimore and working at the National Aquarium? Did you think about that? Was that in your mind?
Not really. I remember when the aquarium opened, and it was a really big part of my childhood. We came several times, while it was open and before I left town. But when I went to school, I was really focused on marine science, and eventually kind of hard aquatic toxicology. But I really didn't think of myself working at an aquarium. It would have been cool, obviously, but I felt more of my passion heading towards the outdoors and doing science, because that was something that I was really kind of good at and I really loved. But also, somehow working in the outdoors and protecting our planet.
All right. So what was your first job out? I mean, we talked about this. What was your first job out of, after all the schooling?
Sure. So I got a master's in aquatic toxicology, and then my first job was at a medical school doing human toxicology. So I was in the biochemistry department at UT, University of Texas Houston Medical School, for almost 10 years, just doing various jobs.
And in the back of your mind, while you're working with humans, you're doing this, is the National Aquarium, are there little hints coming like, you got to come back home. It's time to come back home. It's time to come back.
You know what? I really enjoyed my time in Texas, but sometime in 2002, my husband got an offer to get a job at Hopkins in Baltimore. Sorry, he was my boyfriend then. He was not my husband.
Okay.
But he got an offer to come to Hopkins and get a job, and he's like, "So we have an opportunity to go to Baltimore together." And that just hit me. I really enjoyed my time in Texas. I was doing some really good stuff in Texas, but I was like, I could go home. I could be near my parents again. I had young nephews. My family was growing, and I didn't want to miss all of that. And I love the Mid-Atlantic. It's home. I wanted to get out, but once you're out, if there's a point in time when you want to come back. So I really did kind of jump at that opportunity. We both jumped at the opportunity, and we moved back here in 2002.
Nice.
And once we decided, okay, we're moving back to Baltimore, I was like, okay, I need to find a job. I'd worked at that school for 10 years. That was my first job and my only job of my entire career. So now it's time for me to find a job. I hadn't done job hunting in a decade, so it was a little tough. But really, honestly, it was the first thing I thought about. When it was time to come back to Baltimore, it would be really great to work at a place like this.
Now, I forgot the question, and I always ask every person that comes on the show, what is your favorite childhood memory growing up in Baltimore?
You know what? I'm going to just flip that around a little bit, because I thought about that, and I'm not the kind of person that has like this one memory that sticks out, but really for me, 90% of my childhood memories are outside. They're outside, they're in the park, in my yard, either family reunions at a state park or something like that, going down to the beach every summer, went down to Ocean City all the time. They're not ever, there's very few of my memories that are inside. They really focused on the outside world.
No, I totally believe. I remember going to Stone Mountain in Georgia growing up and climbing the mountain, going up the mountain, and then we were living in New York. We would go to Adirondacks, sleeping in lean-tos. You couldn't catch me in one right now, but again, it's the outdoors, and I just miss being outside. You remember, when, now it's video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, you
But
don't remember that. You
No.
don't remember you sitting for hours and hours on a couch
no,
playing video games. You remember the really special moments.
I remember the light when the street light came on. I better be in the house. I remember that was the golden rule. I had to be home by that time, and
Yeah.
I
And
just
catching lightning bugs,
Yeah.
and yeah,
we
that's
used-
what you remember.
Well, I don't want to say it wrong, but the creek or the crick, or people call it different words.
My dad's from Pennsylvania. He would say crick.
Right, the crick.
We would say creek.
And we would catch crawfish out of the creek in Maryland, which was so weird. And it was a little tiny crawfish in the creek, and I was like, this is so cool, riding my bikes around. So I always go back to the childhood memory because it's just something you remember being, growing up and whatnot. So we're going to take a quick break because I also want to give a quick background about you first and foremost. When we come back, we'll talk about the National Aquarium
Sure.
and the definition of what you do. And we'll talk about the dolphins, because everybody wants to talk about the dolphins.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the programs that you guys have going on that people need to hear about. And that maybe we don't ever hear about it, or things that you probably hear about but you don't know. So we'll be right back after these messages, folks.
OpenWorks is Baltimore's largest makerspace, offering access to tools ranging from 3D printers to welder, and training in how to use them. OpenWorks also offers affordable studio space, a coffee shop, and fun-free events throughout the year. But OpenWorks is more than a public workshop. It's a community of creative professionals, students, seniors, entrepreneurs, and makers of all kinds. Check out the website at www.openworksbmore.org or Instagram at open_works_bmore for class schedules, membership options, and more. The No Picks After Dark podcast is proudly partnered with Maggie's Farm. Located at 4341 Hartford Road, Maggie's Farm offers a unique dining experience with delicious handcrafted cocktails and mouth-watering cuisine, from falafels to scallops and everyone's favorites, honey sriracha cauliflower wings. Open for dinner from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, and for brunch, Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. with delectable chicken and waffles, shrimp and grits, biscuits and gravy, and more. Check out Maggie's Farm on Instagram and Facebook for daily and weekly food specials.
Folks, we are back again with Miss Laura Bankey. She is the Vice President of Conservation Programs at the National Aquarium. The National Aquarium.
National Aquarium.
The National Aquarium, folks. We are live and direct. No Picks After Dark is at the National Aquarium. I don't know. I'm about to smile. I'm smiling ear for ear right now. So let's talk about, what is your definition of conservation? What's the definition?
Sure. I think conservation is the protection of our natural world for the benefit of both humans and wildlife. And if I can kind of put it into an analogy, I think, if you think about our natural world as a Jenga game, for example.
Okay.
When something bad happens, we lose a species. It's the same thing as knocking one of those pegs out of the Jenga tower. And then maybe we tear down a forest to put up a parking lot, the famous lyrics. It's another piece. So it's just one piece out, but every piece you knock out, you hurt the structural integrity of the entire game. And there's only so much of that you can do before it all kind of collapses. So that's true kind of in an acute big picture sense. Everybody gets, like, we shouldn't, cut down a lot of forests for parking lots. But I also, if you want to go a little bit deeper into that, like, think of each peg as a Jenga game. And small things that we as individuals do, that hurts our planet. Maybe things like, the National Aquarium is trying to tell people or have people understand that our kind of reliance on single-use plastics, we should rethink about how we use single-use plastics. The fact that, millions of tons of plastics waste goes into our ocean every year, that's like almost a chronic thing. So that's, if you take that Jenga piece and now you're like picking pieces out of that one piece. If you do that enough, then that one piece is going to crumble. So it's layered, but it's also kind of, it has the ability to, one action eventually is going to cause the whole thing to fall. So our job is to put it back together. stop taking pieces out and then figure out how we put pieces back together so that we just have a more reliable and healthy ocean planet.
Would that be relatable to like basically the ecosystem? And you're
Yes.
taking one thing out of the ecosystem and then it just disrupts another thing.
Right.
Everything happens.
Everything
Keeps
has a
on.
consequence. You might think, oh, this small toad went extinct, across somewhere across the world. But that small toad, his life is connected to so many other things. So one piece gets knocked out because that small toad is extinct, but all the other pieces are less. They're less structural. There's no structural integrity anymore because of his connection with all of the other pieces. So the trick is we have to switch that balance. We need to stop taking the pieces out of the Jenga game and start putting them back in.
I like that. I like that. So tell us more about the programs that you guys have here at the National Aquarium.
Sure, and it's a long list, so I don't know how long
We
you
got
have.
time.
Okay,
We got
great.
time.
So I had mentioned earlier that we do have field conservation work. So we do a lot of restoration projects with partners around the Mid-Atlantic area. In fact, we have one coming up next weekend with our friends at Baltimore County. We're going to be restoring some wetlands at Chesterwood Park in Baltimore County. So we're inviting volunteers, our guests, our members to come out with us and help restore that shoreline. It's one thing to come in here and be inspired by all of the animals and the great habitat you see, but we want to actually take that inspiration and have you take an action because of that inspiration. So we invite you to join us in any of these restoration projects that we have. We do a lot of cleanup events. We do a lot of what we call community science. So if you're interested in just helping scientists across the globe understand this world a little bit better, there's lots of projects out there where you can just go out in your backyard, record the clouds, record the species you find in your backyard, and upload those to the World Wide Web so that people have access to that data. And if enough people do that around the world, it provides a tremendous amount of data for our scientists to be able to then either figure out systems or figure out how to help systems in the future. So we do that. I had mentioned before that we have education programs out there. We do K through Gray is the term that we use, but we have young students come in. We do programming here. Obviously, we bring in over 100,000 students from Maryland every year.
Wow.
Non-COVID years anyway. So we bring in a lot of students, and half of them come for free, or a lot of them do come for free. So we offer free admission to Maryland students during the school year. But we also go out to schools. We can go out to schools and do programming. We have summer programs for Baltimore City students. We have camps where the students not only come here, but we take them to really interesting ecosystems across the country. We go up to Maine. We go down to Florida. Some kids from Baltimore City that have never been on a plane, never been out of the city, or never been out of the state. And we introduce them to a new place, a new habitat, so that they have a better appreciation for our natural world.
I love hearing that.
It's
that's music.
fantastic.
That's music to my ears, and I know the listeners will definitely, wherever they're watching, will love hearing about that with the Baltimore City kids and give them the opportunity and have level the playing field so people can understand what's out there besides the area.
Yeah, those programs are really life-changing. I can't really emphasize that enough.
Do you know how that program works, how it comes up? How does that come out? How would I know? So if I'm watching this right now, and I'm like, it's probably too late for this summer.
It is. So
how do we go forward and keep that message alive?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So we usually recruit for those in early winter, like January timeframe. So towards the end of the year, the beginning of the year, you want to pay attention to our website. We do have an education newsletter you can subscribe to, but definitely subscribe to our regular newsletter that goes out. Our news, it's forgive me. So it's Aqua News. but subscribe to that, and we'll let people know when that's coming up. Pay attention to the website. We have an education page up there, but it's usually around the change of the year. We ask for applications. So you have to apply. You have to get a teacher recommendation because it's a free program. So we want to make sure that we're getting the people in that really want to be in. And then you have to actually go into an interview with our educators. But the fantastic thing is, you might get this once in a lifetime opportunity at the end of it. So it's really life-changing.
Now, if you go 1 year, are you available to come back the following year?
Absolutely.
Are you already grandfathered in, or do you have to reapply?
You're not grandfathered in.
Okay.
You do have to reapply, but we do absolutely kind of hope that folks kind of go year after year. And we've built the curriculum for the camps that way. So, for example, I think right now we're doing 2 grades. It's done by grade, not by age. 2 grades at a time. So maybe 3rd and 4th grade camp and a 5th and 6th grade camp. And each of the curriculums are different. So if you go in 4th grade 1 year and you want to come back the next year, you're not doing the same thing. You'll go to another place and you'll eventually kind of build your way up to go to some pretty amazing places across the country.
So I have a lot of people in my family that work in this educational school systems and whatnot, and a lot of people who listen on the show and watch the show. What if they say, hey, this sounds amazing. Would you guys actually come out to the school and say, hey, this is what we have going on in front of the say for instance the PTA or things like kind of like a community outreach type of thing where, hey, can you come out to, I'll pick on a school, Medfield Heights or another school like Hamilton Elementary, whatever it may be. Would you guys come out there and say, hey, this is our presentation, this is what we're doing, and try to recruit, or you don't have to recruit, it just is what it is?
Well, we don't necessarily have to recruit, but we certainly want more people to know what we're doing. I don't think everybody knows. So we definitely want to make sure everybody eligible for that program knows so that they have an opportunity to apply. We do have a relationship with Baltimore City school systems and their science coordinators. So that's there, but that doesn't mean everybody's getting the word.
Right.
So if somebody contacts us, we'd be happy to figure out how to make sure that they get the right information.
Yeah, I just know we have such a strong thing with digital divide right now, just trying to be online and things of that nature. We're just trying to just, figure out if people are listening, hey, we can do this and reach out. So,
and that's a problem. I mean, some parts of our city have more resources than the other. We really do want to make sure that everybody has kind of an equal opportunity for these amazing camp opportunities.
Well, hold me to it next year.
Okay.
Next year when it's
January 1.
when it comes out, please get the communication team.
Okay.
They reach out to me, and then we can do something special and put it out in the ecosystem.
Love to.
So sorry about that. I really
okay.
wanted to make sure people hear about that in the community so they have a better understanding of what this is. Because this program sounds amazing to me, and I wish I kind of knew about this when I was a child. Because I'm like, I could go out and go outside and learn things. That's what it's all about. So, you guys, science-based education. Tell me a little bit about that and like the hands-on field initiatives. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So, obviously, everything that we do, the interpretation in the building, our education programs, even when we're working with our volunteers, we are focused on providing messages that kind of align with the latest science. That's just, our reputation kind of depends on it, and that's our baseline for, how we speak to anybody. Whether it's an education participant or somebody that's coming through our doors. It's part of our written pieces of our exhibits and the presentations that happen either like on the various carts or various programs inside the building. We just want to make sure that people have the most up-to-date information, factual information, so that they can do the right thing once they are inspired by our work with them.
All right, so this question wasn't on what I gave you, but I thought about this sitting here, and we talked about this on a tour. So people probably were like, what did you guys do during COVID? Animals got to get fed.
The animals have to
get fed. So how did you guys pivot as far as during the COVID and like things you probably learned as an organization, as a conservationist, like that you didn't really know, and then you're like, we can do this a little bit better in a different way.
Right.
What did you learn about yourself and then the program that's doing this with the animals? I mean, the sharks got to get fed somehow, way.
Yes.
And I'm sure they like people. I mean, I don't know which animals they here like people around, but There was nobody here, really.
There was there was no guests here.
Right, no guests here.
Yeah, we
So,
had shut our doors for 3 months, just following the latest guidelines by our, state and city partners. It was as hard on us. I know it hit everybody very, very hard, and it was hard on us as well. So shutting our doors had a big impact, as you mentioned. Much of our revenue comes from people coming in through the doors and buying tickets. So when that doesn't happen, that it hurts us a little bit. And we're not a place where, we're not a building that we can just close the doors, turn off the lights, pay one security guard, and we're okay for 3 months. Like you said, it doesn't work that way. We have thousands and thousands of animals that are taken care of 24/7. So it doesn't matter if COVID's happening outside the doors. We have to do our due diligence and take care of those animals in the best way possible. So we were scrambling to figure out, okay, we still need our rainforest team to come in. How do we make them safe as they have to come in and work together? So trying to just figure out shifts and, it was tough for essential workers. The first year, it was really, really tough. Some people had the opportunity to stay home and hunker down, and some people did not. And that was definitely true of our staff here at the National Aquarium. But we learned, just like everybody else did, we learned how to adapt. When we did open 3 months later, we started off with limited capacity, trying to make sure everybody was safe. Again, following the science, the best available science, and see how we can continue to run our business, inspire people, but keep everybody safe. So, it was a lot of trial and error. We did our best. We did have limited capacity for a long time, just to make sure everybody was safe, following the rules again of the city and the state as they come through. But it was interesting, and for my team in particular, the ones that go outside and do the work, I actually remember we always have an event where we're planting trees on the Eastern Shore in March, and we got the delivery on March 12th, I think, of the trees.
yep, that's
If
the
you
one.
remember,
Yep.
we closed down on March 13th.
Yep.
So the trees were delivered to our facility in Jonestown at the Animal Care and Rescue Center on the 12th. And we were supposed to have 100 volunteers come out, in 2 weeks and plant those trees. And we're like, okay, how are we going to get this done? So I moved them to my backyard and I watered them until we figured it out. We took our staff, just our staff, not the 100 volunteers, and we got them in the ground because, we always plant trees when we can plant trees. But we had to do it safely, and we had to make sure, we didn't want to jeopardize our volunteers, the health and safety of our volunteers. So fun things like that happened. And then, we realized that we could do a lot of stuff virtually that we really didn't think we could do before we were forced to try. So we had some animal encounter opportunities for our members while we were shut down. We did, my team is the Baltimore coordinator for a community science project called City Nature Challenge, where you want people to get outside and use your phone to identify, all the critters in your backyard type of thing. And we kind of switched that to virtual engagement. And we had more volunteers that year than we had the year before when we were able to kind of meet in person and provide opportunities for people to meet together. So we did learn new things that we could do. And, we will hopefully take the good stuff along with us post-COVID. And just learn to be flexible and adaptable, like the rest. I mean, we're all humans living in this world, and we had to do it in our own personal lives, and the same thing here.
Well, I always think the National Aquarium was always ahead of the curve. You guys had people coming in there already.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember interviewing scientists from the Maryland Zoo, and they were telling me a lot of kids were writing in saying, are the animals lonely?
No.
Because they didn't know,
Yeah.
like they're used to seeing animals, and they were already lonely, and somebody there with them, and just good to hear. And thank you for sharing that personal touch of what's going to happen, how you to plant the trees at your house and keep them alive, and that's huge. I really appreciate that. So when you hear the word World Ocean Day on June 8th, what does that come to mind? Because when you told me about World Ocean Day, I was like, I
You
seem
had
like
never heard of it
here.
before,
You know
have you?
what? You got me.
Nope.
You got me. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, you like this is the day the episodes drop. I'm like, okay. So it's World Ocean Day. For those who probably like, what are you talking about? Give us a little breakdown.
So World Oceans Day is designated by the United Nations every year on June 8th. So that's the day we set aside to really celebrate the ocean and all of it provides for us. So there's usually there's activities around the globe, but folks like the National Aquarium and other aquariums kind of use this as an opportunity to share messages around the importance of a healthy ocean and what people that come into our buildings can do to protect it. So it's a good opportunity to remind people that the ocean provides the oxygen that we breathe. It's the circulatory system of the planet. A lot of our food comes from the ocean. Without a healthy ocean, you won't have a healthy, human population. So just a reminder, every once in a while, once a year, that we need to think about how important our ocean is to us. We are a blue planet. 70% of our Earth is covered in ocean, not the other way around. We tend to think of the Earth as like, okay, we're in Maryland on this land mass right here, but most of the planet is covered in ocean, and we have to remember to act like it and help protect that ocean for us.
Also, we're the Dolphin Exhibit. I mean, that's one of the most popular things here. What can you say about the dolphins? Anything fun about them? Like, do they sleep? Do they ever rest? Because people always like coming by, but we walk by and I'm like, I felt mesmerized just watching them. It was very peaceful. I mean, is that one of the favorites? It's like a lot of kids come and to come here.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves to come here and see the dolphins. Like you said, they hold something over us. They're very intelligent, and they're able to. I've seen it's so much fun in the morning before we open. I can see our wonderful cleaning crew wiping the glass of the exhibits, and the dolphin will come watch the people. Watch, and sometimes you see the dolphin like doing the same motion as the human on the other side of the glass. There's just a connection because they're so intelligent.
They are.
So it's fascinating, and it's fascinating to watch an animal like that living in the water. They have a completely different life than you, but you feel a connection to them. So that's fun. They do sleep, but it's a kind of, they call it semi-hemispheric, like half of their brain goes to sleep, and because they, obviously are air breathers, they can't completely go to sleep, but they do their version of sleep. So it's fascinating. And if you're here early in the morning, you might see it.
That's cool. That is really cool.
But mostly during the day, they're a little bit more active.
All right, so I'm going to ask the question. I have held off for a little bit. And one big thing that I've heard from people before the show, and I told them I was coming down here, was that they were like, it costs too much to come to the aquarium. And, speak on that. Because you and I have spoken off camera. When I walked this whole thing, we didn't even walk the whole aquarium.
No, we didn't.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow. And then people will say, well, it hasn't changed since how many years or any facelifts or anything like that. Can you speak to that also? Go ahead. You just take it piece by piece.
So the National Aquarium, we've been around for 40 years, and I hear the same thing. People always want, can I get free tickets? Like, don't want to pay to go to the National Aquarium. But the reality is, like we said earlier, we are not a museum where it's just static and all we have to do is pay people to walk around and make sure you're not touching the artwork. We have tens of thousands of animals in their care, and there is a responsibility for us to take care of them. They have to be fed, the water has to be taken care of. So there is a cost to that, unfortunately. And we have to be able to take care of our animals. Number one priority for us. So there is a cost to that. But we realize that might be a barrier to some folks. We do know that. So we try to provide as many opportunities for folks to come either at reduced price or free. So I want people to understand there are opportunities out there to come for a reduced price and for free, and then you get to experience this amazing place. So, for example, today's Friday, right? Half price Friday nights. Every day, every Friday of the year, after 5 o'clock, you can get in for half price.
I didn't know that until you just told me that.
There you go.
Did not know that until you.
So, come on by on a Friday night. Like
I know you have some at the library. What's going on with the library for the price?
So that's
bring it
we have
all
a
in.
fantastic partnership with the Enoch Pratt Free Library. It's called our Read to Reef program. We're trying to get young readers to really kind of explore books that are maybe ocean themed or water themed, so that maybe we can inspire them. To become maybe future aquarium staff one day. But we have a program working with them. It's both in the spring and the fall. And you can go into the library, get a bookmark, read a certain number of books. And, if you're registered for the program, then you can get tickets for your family to come visit the National Aquarium. So it's a win-win. I mean, getting kids to read, getting kids and their families into the aquarium for free. The Enoch Pratt Free Library really kind of stepped up, and we're able to provide this opportunity for lots of kids throughout the city every year, and we're so proud of that program. The other thing that we have going on this month, we have a school celebration.
Ooh.
I know, isn't it?
Is it for June or May?
It's happening in June.
Okay, in June, okay.
And it really is an opportunity to kind of celebrate our local students as they finish the school year. So we open a couple nights up to the aquarium just for students and their families. We have it's already full for this June, but next spring, pay attention when you see that announcement come out, because that's an opportunity for people. They can come for free.
Wow.
And it's just celebrating everybody's good work during the academic school year.
So, folks, you heard it. There's so many different opportunities as far as getting half off and things of that nature, and there's so many things for your kids. Now, I know we'll drop a little note. I know there's some stuff going on for some adults, but that's a teaser. But
Yep.
in general, what do you want people to walk away from this interview? What do you want them to say when they listen to this or watch it on YouTube? What do you want? What do you hope they walk away with?
Well, I hope that they realize that when they come to the National Aquarium, what they're doing is really supporting the larger effort to conserve our aquatic world. We're not just an attraction in Baltimore City. We really are focused on protecting our wildlife and our species. And once you come in here, what we hope that happens once you visit the aquarium is that you're inspired to also kind of join us. So obviously want you to come have a good time, want you to learn things, but also want you to be inspired. And hopefully that inspiration kind of translate into, maybe you change a habit. You stop using single-use plastic water bottles or something like that. But you realize that your actions have consequences, and you have the agency to make a better life for yourself and for the wildlife that we share it with.
You dropped a lot of jewels and gems, as I always say in my podcast. You dropped a lot of heat. If I haven't done my mental index right now, just thank you so much of what you've in your time.
Oh, gosh.
Because I know the animals are looking for you out there. I don't want to hold you up. But let's talk about a little bit. Where can we find you guys on social media? Do you have the social media plugs at all?
I do, but I'm going to...
You can use your paper. No, you can use it. Go ahead. Please do.
So our Twitter handle is at NATL Aquarium, all one word. Our Instagram handle is at National Aquarium, all one word. Our Facebook is National Aquarium. And TikTok is NATL Aquarium.
That's where the kids go nowadays. They go to TikTok. That's where they hang out now. So now we've asked you all the hard questions. Now we're going to lighten up a little bit, okay?
All right, I'm ready.
Speed round. Brunch or dinner?
Brunch. Oh, my God, brunch.
What's your favorite meal for brunch?
Miss Shirley's crab cake, eggs Benedict, or crab eggs Benedict. I don't know.
How hard is it? You work right across the street from here.
Oh, my gosh.
I would probably be eating there once a week.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Snowballs or ice cream?
I would say both. Have you ever had the ice cream in the bottom of the snowball?
Wait. We're from Maryland. Sky
I'm
snowballs.
from Pasadena.
Okay,
No, I
come
know,
on.
I
We
know.
got
But-
snowballs.
So
Come on.
this time of year is definitely snowballs, but
Okay.
January it's ice cream because
True.
they all close down in Labor Day.
True. Crabs or crab cakes?
Crabs.
Okay.
But my husband's allergic to crabs, so I don't get to eat them as much as
Oh, wow.
But I love the sitting around with a whole bunch of people and just talking for hours and picking crabs and doing not much else.
All right, here's a bonus question.
Okay.
Do you eat chicken wings?
Yes.
Flats or drums?
Flats.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
I like that. Blue cheese. Yeah, I like blue cheese. And what is the best advice you've ever received?
You know, my mom told me that I can and should choose to be happy.
I love it.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for coming on No Picks After Dark podcast. Thank you. This has been a great pleasure. Hopefully we can run it back sooner than later.
Of course.
Or maybe after dark. I don't know. Or we can go on a voyage, but we don't know. But we'll talk, dropping all those little things there, but we'll see. But thank you so much, National Aquarium, for having us here today. It's been an amazing experience. This has been, I'm so excited that we could do this. And shout out to the communication team, the community team who's in the house right now. Shout out to them for making this happen. And hopefully we can come back and do a part 2 of this.
Always welcome.
Hey, hopefully the door's open. And I will pay to come to the National Aquarium. Love, peace, and we're out, folks.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you. It's a wrap.